Hey, what's going on, Who Dat Nation? It is yours truly, TJ Jones, host of the State of the Saints podcast. And coming up on the State of the Saints podcast, the New Orleans Saints still not told us who is going to be the starting quarterback. They're going to let this thing go into preseason game number 3. And also, if you ever caught 2 buses and a streetcar to go to this place in order to get the new Jays that just came out, then you know where I'm at.
Thank you for listening to my daddy's podcast. Please subscribe to our channel.
All I got to say is, who that? Hey, what's going on, Who Dat Nation? It is yours truly, TJ Jones. And yes, I am the host of the State of the Saints podcast. And thank you so much for checking out the State of the Saints podcast, where we talk New Orleans Saints. I really do appreciate your time. No matter where you are, wherever you may be, thank you for spending your Wednesday afternoon with yours truly to talk some Saints football. On this edition, we're going to be talking about the Saints quarterback competition continuing, and Kellen Moore still has not decided who is going to be the starting quarterback in the regular season. But before we get started, I ask that you hit the like and subscribe button. It helps the channel to grow. And shouts out to everybody that has been following the content, whether you just started or you've been here. I really do appreciate it. Also, much love to each and every one of you that stopped by the NFC South Roundtable on Tuesday night. Is always great to see so many familiar names and being a part of the show. We do it every single Tuesday, 8 p.m. On YouTube, man. We have a really good time over there, and it's pretty cool, man, to see so many people that support this show, showing love and support as I go over there to do that. Really do appreciate everybody that checked out the State of the NFL podcast that's available right now. Just put out a video about Anthony Richardson being benched for Daniel Jones, which comes as a shock to some people, probably not many, but that's what your boy been up to, man. And now we're going to talk a little bit about this quarterback competition. Man, oh man, oh man. I want to say people are just starting to get restless. They're like, man, can we just, can we know who is going to be the starting quarterback? Can y'all make up your mind, And, I can kind of understand where the Saints are coming from. I can understand why this decision is taking so long. You want to make sure that you are making the right decision because you want to roll with the guy that you select, and you probably understand that there are going to be some ups and downs, but you're willing to allow him to go through the motions. Both quarterbacks have done some really good things. They've done some things that they need to work on. I mean, that just comes with the territory when you have 2 young quarterbacks that are trying to figure it out. And the media has continuously asked Kellen Moore about who is going to be the starter. And this is what he said. This comes from Tuesday's press conference, where Kellen Moore was asked on several occasions who is going to be the starting quarterback. And this actually comes from WDSU's own Fletcher Mackle's X page. Make sure you follow Fletcher Mackle at Fletcher WDSU. Check this out.
We're going through that process right now. Again, letting these guys continue to go through this journey. They've done some really, really good work, and so we'll put ourselves in position for this Denver game and then see how it goes from there. Yeah, we felt like it was pretty close going into it, and obviously it came out pretty close. And so we're kind of staying in this middle. And, obviously you'd like for it to make a decision, and we'll get there as we go. But, I think both these guys are putting in tremendous effort, tremendous work. They're both doing a ton of good things, and so we'll see how it goes. We play Arizona on that Sunday, so hopefully before that. So something in between today and that day. Yeah, we haven't named one, so we haven't gone through that. Once we make that decision, they'll know, and then you guys will know.
So they don't know.
No. No, we're not hiding anything, guys. Don't worry. No, it's close. We look at every aspect of this quarterback situation, and so it's really, really close. Numbers, experiences, reps, everything. It's going all the way back to start of training camp. Everything is very, very close between this group, and so we'll see how it all plays out. We'll get there. We'll get there. We still got a little bit of time on our side, and so we'll just continue to work through these practices and put ourselves in position for Denver, and then we'll be good to go from there. Yeah, we're going to utilize it. Yeah, we're going to continue to utilize it to evaluate these guys, put these guys in a couple different other situations. We got three days of practice and a game, and so we got some excellent work coming our way.
So as you can see, the media has asked this question from different angles, and Kellen Moore still has not decided. Look, once again, I don't have an issue with the New Orleans Saints, basically prolonging this process. It's one of those decisions that can define a franchise. If you roll with one of these guys and it doesn't pan out, you can be setting yourself back this season. So you want to make sure that you're making the right decisions. And also, I feel like the Saints are not being as proactive as some of these other teams, because quite frankly, they don't have to. And the reason why is because we all know when it comes to Kellen Moore, this is pretty much like a red shirt year for him as a head coach. I mean, I just think that anybody that's just fully evaluating Kellen Moore based on what the Saints are looking like this season and feeling like this is an indication of things to come, I just think that you just want to see somebody get fired, or maybe you just buy into that whole, if you don't get things done right away, then you ain't the right guy. Look, Kellen Moore is in for an uphill battle with the New Orleans Saints, and the fact that they probably had this conversation that it's probably going to take a few years in order for the Saints to get back to being in contention consistently, I think that is the reason why Kellen Moore can kind of drag things out like this. And also, you want to make sure that he's making the right decision, because it also can define how people look at him. Look, this isn't my first rodeo. I've been a Saints fan my entire life. I've been alive for 39 years. And I can tell you right now, New Orleans Saints fans are some of the most impatient fans on the face of God's green earth. Now, get in where you fit in. If I'm not talking about you, I'm not talking about you. But they are some of the most impatient, irrational fans at times. And they're going to look at what is placed right in front of them. They're not going to look at the whole grand scheme of things of what is exactly going on that may prohibit certain situations from happening. It's basically pretty cut and dry. It's rather you got it or you don't. Doesn't matter why you don't have it. It's just the fact that you don't have it, and they evaluate it. So I can understand why Kellen Moore is dragging his feet when it comes to this situation, because it can actually define how some people may perceive him. That's just the way that it is. A lot of sizing up takes place among Saints fans when it comes to this organization. So you want to make sure that one of your biggest decisions, probably the first major decision that you make, is a smart one, so people can be able to follow you and feel like you have the best interest of the team at heart, and you're doing the right things to make the team better. That is the way I feel about it. So I can understand why they're taking so long. And we also learned that the New Orleans Saints don't really pay attention to what's going on in the league like that. We know that they were the last team to select a head coach while everybody was finding theirs. And we know that this is one of those situations. Yet again, the New Orleans Saints are doing what they feel is necessary. And look, I think that both quarterbacks have been solid. I'm not going to say that either quarterback has separated himself from the other, but I just think that when it all comes down to it, they want to make the right decision. I also feel like to a certain extent, them prolonging this process is because they in ways want Tyler Shough to be the starter. Now, I don't care who is the starter by no stretch. Like whoever the quarterback is, I mean, I'm just going to root for them and hope that they do well. But I think that they want Tyler Shough to start. I think that the fact that maybe they thought that Spencer Rattler would probably have some good qualities and, look decent to a certain extent. He probably wouldn't have the skills to be able to even be at, neck and neck with Tyler Shough at this point. I think they kind of underestimated Spencer Rattler. I think they thought that he was talented, but I don't think that they really thought that he would just take it by the reins right now and just look at this as a declaration of war. Like you're challenging me and I'm going to compete to the last sweat just beans from my forehead or something like that. Like they didn't realize that he was probably going to go as hard as he did to make it as difficult of a decision. Because if you go out there and you allow Tyler Shough to be the starter and you know that you have these fans that have looked at Spencer Rattler and you have these reports that have talked about Spencer Rattler looking better than Tyler Shough in practice and in games from time to time, it is going to be hard for you to sell individuals on a fair quarterback competition. So I get why the New Orleans Saints are dragging this thing out, but I don't think they're dragging it out because they don't know. I think they're dragging it out because they want to justify the guy that they want to start in the first place, which is Tyler Shough. Now, this isn't a knock on Spencer Rattler at all. Anybody that knows and you've been following this podcast, you know that I feel like Spencer Rattler should be the starter. I think he should be the starter because of the limitations of the New Orleans Saints. And I just think that he'll be able to navigate a little bit better than Tyler Shough. And then on top of that, you are jeopardizing the confidence of Tyler Shough because once again, it goes back to these Saints fans out here that only just see things that's right in front of them. They already have their reservations and their mind made up when it comes to Tyler Shough. You got Saints fans that don't feel like he's it. They feel like maybe the Saints should have went after Shedeur Sanders because he's not Shedeur Sanders, and they're basically evaluating him like under a microscope, and everything that he does is amplified. So by putting him out there, and even though it might start off a little rough, that is not going to be good enough for some of these Saints fans, and they're going to be speaking very, very loudly, and they're going to be talking about how this guy isn't it, and how it was a waste of a draft pick, et cetera, et cetera. So I think that the Saints may need to roll with Spencer Rattler just for that alone, to give Tyler Shough an opportunity to maybe sit on a bench for a few weeks. If things don't work out with Spencer Rattler, then you can put Tyler Shough out there, and I think it would be a little bit more understandable. But right now, I just feel like they're pushing the issue. If Tyler Shough was, in this position, and let's just say, for example, if the roles were reversed, like the narrative that's been going on is Spencer Rattler has looked a little bit better and a little bit more polished than Tyler Shough at this point. Now, if it was the other way around, I think that we probably would have heard Tyler Shough's name being named as the starting quarterback of the Saints this week. But the fact that, both guys pretty much look the same, and the guy that you selected to be your guy, I'm talking Kellen Moore, to be your guy is kind of lagging behind. You're trying to give them an extra lap so he can catch up. Maybe you can fatigue the first guy and, he can run ahead and maybe win the race. I don't know. But all I'm saying is prolonging this process is to put some of these Saints fans' minds at ease, when it comes to this quarterback decision, because it's going to be a hard sell if the reports are saying that Spencer Rattler is looking better and he's doing better things than Tyler Shough, and you put him out there. All right, so there's that. And then there's another clip that I want to play, and I encourage everybody to listen to this in its entirety. This comes from WWL. It is Bobby Hebert, and shouts out to my guy Steve Geller. They were speaking about practice that took place on Tuesday, and Bobby Hebert got opportunity to check out practice, and this is what he said, and this is the thoughts and the views that have come out of practice according to Bobby Hebert. Check it out.
And you know who was on fire? Spencer Rattler.
Ooh-wee.
I don't know. He ran with the ones today, and for every one play Shough made, Spencer Rattler made 3. And he was burning the defense. Spencer Rattler looked like with a lot of confidence in practice, almost like building upon what he did on the last drive to tie the game.
Nice.
And then Shough came in, and he did a couple of plays, but again, it was nowhere near Spencer Rattler. I think Spencer Rattler separated himself today.
Okay.
I mean, I just think he was playing. He looked very confident. He was spinning the ball. He looked making quick, rational decisions. And then, you know, everybody brags about Shough's arm. Well, throw it. He had Brandon Cooks was flying, and he underthrew on the bomb. I mean, it'd have been another 60-yard touchdown, but he didn't reach him.
So Bobby Hebert, that was his assessment from Tuesday's practice, and you know he praised Spencer Rattler for his performance. Now you can say it's practice, but when you're in a competition, all of these reps matter. And Spencer Rattler looking the part in practice after it's a neck and neck race. You know, it is an advantage for him. But look, when it all comes down to it, it's up to Kellen Moore. It's up to the coaching staff to make the decision as to who to start. I just hope that, you know, it's based on who they feel like will put the team in the best position to win and not so much about what they're trying to do. Now, if Tyler Shough, you come away with that and feel like Tyler Shough will give you the best chance to win, okay. But, you know, if Spencer Rattler is doing the right things right now and you're looking at this situation when it comes to the offensive line, you know, and you have a quarterback and Tyler Shough trying to figure it out. I just think that you'll be doing him a disservice. So if you're going to have Tyler Shough start, you better make doggone sure that it's the best decision right now, and it is for long-term success. And you can see that. It can't just be, oh, we selected this guy, I drafted him, so we're going to have to roll with him. So it's a tough decision, but eventually it's going to be made. I'm not concerned about them not having an answer for us right now, because you still have some time to prepare for the game versus the Arizona Cardinals. And as a matter of fact, you know, it's not like the Cardinals would have an advantage because they don't know who's going to be the starting quarterback. They have to scheme and for both quarterbacks. So as of right now, they have a wait and see approach to see how they're going to have to approach the New Orleans Saints in week 1. So no harm, no foul. And I can understand when you have a young coach who basically is going through a rebuild process, and I'm pretty sure the organization is going to give him some time. You can take as long as you want to make sure that you are making a decision that can define a franchise. This is a tough decision. I mean, this decision can like help the Saints progress, or it can set it back even further. Got to think about that. They want Tyler Shough. Is clear. They are literally begging Shough to separate himself. I think that this competition wouldn't even, like, if Tyler Shough was playing like Rattler and the reports were kind of similar to how the media is talking about Rattler, you know, compared to Shough. If it was the other way around, we would have seen a report come out. You can't say a man pro-ready and he's not be pro-ready. His case to why he should be one was based on position and age, and we seen he is not pro-ready. He ain't bad. He just ain't the hype they claim. Well, who's the hype? You know what I'm saying? Like, what was the hype? Like, what was the hype? I didn't look. I was at the combine. I ain't hear no hype about no Tyler Shough. Like, they were talking about and evaluating quarterbacks, and they were talking about good qualities and bad qualities. I want to say this, man. And some people might get mad at me, but I do not care. You made up your mind that that was the case. I tell people all the time, do your own research on a quarterback. Don't say they said. Who the heck is they? So they control the way that you think? That's what I don't understand. Like, they said he was pro-ready. What, like, Like, you fell for that narrative. Look, the fact of the matter is this. The dude is a second-round pick. Second-round quarterbacks don't always pan out in the National Football League. And miss me with that stuff like, oh, man, well, the Saints wasted a second-round draft pick. Well, they got Isaiah Foskey running around this thing right now. He was a second-round pick. The reality is this, man. Tyler Shough is 25 years old. Everybody's hanging on to that. Oh, he's 25. He's 25. Oh, you just automatically supposed to be all world polished, like, you know, like a new car that just got some turtle wax put on it just because you're 25 years old coming out of college. Look, the fact of the matter is it takes time. I don't care who the quarterback is. I don't care who the quarterback is. You have to adjust to the speed of the NFL. We look at outliers who come out of college that are exceptions to the rule. And if another quarterback that precedes that quarterback doesn't look like the one before, then all of a sudden we throw them away. There is nothing wrong with Tyler Shough. There is nothing wrong with the guy. What he is dealing with is what hundreds of rookie quarterbacks have dealt with coming into the National Football League. I'm tired of having this conversation. Like, I'm tired of people just bringing this up, talking about they said he pro ready. What did you see? What did you see? And just because he didn't automatically just walk on the field in Metairie on airline and just start slinging that thing around and throwing touchdown after touchdown doesn't mean that the guy can't end up transforming into a very credible, reputable quarterback. The impatience of the Who Dat Nation, bruh. Like, I don't know what y'all expect. This is a second-round pick. Of course, you're going to have some ups and some downs. Of course, there's probably going to have a little bit of baggage that come with that player. If there wasn't any baggage, then he would have heard his name in the top 5. We would have heard his name before Cam Ward. Of course, he's going to have some issues if you're drafting him in a second round. But that doesn't mean that you just throw the guy away. Let's just be real about this. People size this guy up because he is not Shedeur Sanders. The way that he carries himself is not like Shedeur Sanders. The confidence that Shedeur Sanders has, people compare Tyler Shough's confidence to Shedeur Sanders. And because he doesn't, I guess, match up, then all of a sudden, like, everybody just quick to throw him away. It is early in this guy's career. This guy's not going to be 40 years old. Like, you need to give this guy some time. But the problem is you don't want to. Everybody wants to be first. Everybody wants to rush to the front of the line to be first with their takes and first with their thoughts. And nobody wants to see the situation play out. They rather sit up here and be mad and amplify certain situations that most rookies go through in order for them to feel like, oh, man, I'm ahead of the curve. You don't know what Tyler Shough is going to be. This conversation that we're having right now might be a completely different conversation next year. But we don't even want to give the dude the opportunity to be able to go through the motions. And this is the main reason why I don't want this dude to start. This is the main reason why I don't want to see this dude see the field. Because everything that guy does, he can do some positive things and he can do some negative things. The negative things are going to be amplified and the good qualities are going to be minimized. Why? Because everybody is talking about what this dude's supposed to be at 26. I said this before. Just because you're 26 years old or 25 years old coming into the league, you still have to adjust to the speed of the game. This whole you 25, so you got to be pro-ready narrative that's been running around here, it's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Like, you just automatically supposed to be all world because you're 25 years old. You still have to adjust to the speed of the game. He is a rookie. I just want people to understand this. He is a rookie. You want instant gratification. I'm sorry, but it doesn't always work like that. So at the end of the day, man, that's what it all comes down to, man. The reality is people, like, man, it just bothers me, man. People keep on talking about, man, they said he pro ready. They said, like, what do you say? So you sit up here and watch, and I'm not talking about my guy, Proof on here, man. I'm not just referring to you. I'm just saying, like, you're not, I'm hearing this narrative, and I'm just trying to set the record straight. Okay, it has nothing to do with that. I'm just saying, I just want people to do their own research and also understand that this is a marathon and not a sprint. If you're talking about a rebuild, it is a marathon, not a sprint. And right now, like I said, the dude is just trying to go through the motions. I just want people to just, get a dude some time. It's not like, he just god awful. Like, he just needs some reps. He just needs some experience. I don't get it, man. I just don't. Like, I don't understand why we just trying to rush to the head of the line to say that this guy sucks. Like, we don't know if this dude gonna be like, I don't know if he's gonna be a great quarterback, good quarterback, terrible quarterback. I don't know. But rushing to judgment and amplifying every mistake that this dude make and make it seem like it's just I guess like a foreshadow of this man's career, just totally unfair, man. Like, why, you're gonna destroy something before it actually happened. I don't get it. And I'm gonna tell you why also. This is also another reason. Every Saints fan that's out there right now is looking for Drew Brees. I said it on the last episode. Saints fans are looking for Drew Brees. They're looking for Drew Brees, and every quarterback that walks through, can he measure up to Drew Brees? Drew Brees was a special quarterback. You probably never going to see that again. You probably never going to see a quarterback play at the level of a Drew Brees in a Saints uniform again. The decision making, like knowing what the defense going to do before it happens. You how special was Drew Brees if you can just replicate what he does or what he did rather? How special was he? Everybody's looking for Brees. Most of you have not experienced this. So this is uncharted territory for you. So the fact that the Saints have struggled at the quarterback position, you're not used to it. But because you probably became a Saints fan when Drew Brees was the quarterback and you've seen the quarterback position played at the highest level possible. But this is what most teams go through when they lose a franchise all-world legendary quarterback. This is what most teams go through. If he throws the ball down the field and it sails over the receiver's head, we ain't used to that. Because most of the time, Drew Brees on the money. Like, we're looking for Drew Brees, but Drew Brees ain't walking through that door. The sooner some of you Saints fans learn that, the better. As soon as you learn that this is a rebuild, the better. Saying someone sucks and he hasn't played a full game is bullish. That's all I'm saying. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't understand what people get from trying to run to the front of the line. Like, man, look, I'm here first. I'm gonna say he suck right now. I'm gonna leave this right here. I'm gonna put this he suck sign right here. I'm gonna walk away, but I'm gonna be back. Like, I just say, man, like, just let it play out. Just let it play out. Like, man, we all know that the chances of the Saints going anywhere this season are slim to none. I mean, I don't know if you believe that or you just trying to play some type of Jedi mind trick with yourself. Maybe you don't want it to be that way. Maybe you're just saying that, hoping that thing change. But the reality is it's a rebuild. And that's what happens when you go through a rebuild. You're going to have some bad play. You're going to have some mistakes being made by young, inexperienced players because they got to figure it out. I agree. We mad they signed old veteran and pushed for drafting a quarterback. We drafted a quarterback and now everybody is rushing. We knew this was going to happen after Drew retired. Just be patient. Got to be patient with the process, man. And if Tyler Shough doesn't pan out, then guess what? You go to the draft and you find yourself another quarterback. Like, it'll work itself out, folks. It's all right. Like, we talking about, man, we wasting draft pick. Man, how many draft picks the Saints done wasted? Look at the offensive line. Look at the offensive line. Like, I mean, as of right now, it looked like, you wasted some draft picks on some of them players. Couple of them guys look like they're going to be studs. Taylor Fuaga, Kelvin Banks look like they're going to be some studs. We know Eric McCoy is a stud in his own right. But like we talking about wasting draft picks. Like that's our biggest knock on the New Orleans Saints, them wasting draft picks. So if they're trying to draft a guy that can fill a void or fill a need, like that's what you want. That's what you want them to do. But we don't even know. Like, we don't even know if this guy, man, this dude might be, we might be having this conversation a couple of years from now, and this dude might still be the quarterback of the team. Or he may not be. But I'm not going to rush the judgment, man. I'm just not. I definitely watched Shough ball out against Cam Ward in college, but I didn't know who he was. Shout out to Kelvin Banks not giving up any pressures or sacks all preseason. Yeah, that guy going to be special, man. I've been talking about him for a minute. I've been talking about him for a minute, man. I mean, when I saw him at the combine, I got opportunity to speak with him, but you can kind of tell, like, when I was asked him questions like, did he speak to the Saints? And, the way that they was grilling him, you can tell, like, there was a chance that they can end up drafting him. And I'm glad that they did, man. I know people want to talk about the first round pick and all that kind of stuff, what the Saints should have did with the, and all that. But look, I don't think the Saints are going to regret the decision of drafting Kelvin Banks. And I don't think that Saints fans are going to feel bad that the Saints drafted Kelvin Banks. I just think that guy going to be special. We took Ruiz over Patrick Queen. That was very bad. Now, we took Cesar Ruiz over Jordan Love. That's what we did. That's what the Saints did. That's what the Saints did. All this proves is a lot of fans lied about wanting to rebuild, or maybe they didn't know what a rebuild was. Exactly, Cam. That's the thing, man. We want the bread, but we don't want to bake it, right? We want the car, but we don't want to put down the down payment. We want the house, but we don't want to put down the down payment. We want instant gratification. Like, and honestly, my HBCU people out there are going to, respect this phrase. They talking out the side of their neck. Like, all they do is basically just talk about what the Saints need to do. And it's one of the main reasons I want people to understand this too. This is the main reason why organizations don't listen to fans, because fans sometimes are so emotional with the things that they say, they don't even necessarily mean it. And you want these organizations to react based on how you feel, and you're not even consistent with the things that you're feeling. We've been talking about a rebuild for years. Man, they need to get rid of the Sean Payton way. Man, Drew Brees ain't walking through that door, bruh. Then all of a sudden, like, okay, we need to rebuild, man. Tear it down to the studs, bruh. They get a new coach, get young quarterbacks, ain't out here exhausting the checkbook, understand where they are as a team, the way that Saints fans been wanting them to do. Now all of a sudden it still ain't good enough. Like, what does it really come down to? Are we just talking just to talk, or are we going to practice what we preach? I would be the biggest hypocrite walking the face of God's green earth if you haven't checked out hundreds of episodes of me saying that the Saints need to embrace the suck. I promise you, go back in the archives. Man, the Saints need to embrace the suck. It can get ugly before it gets beautiful, right? I've said this on several occasions, and that's the reason why I'm not getting upset. People want me to yell from the rooftops and talk about, oh, man, the Saints ain't doing this right and that right. The Saints did what I've been asking the organization to do for years. But I have the patience to actually see it through, and I feel like Saints fans need to follow suit. Forget about the talks that you had with your Atlanta Falcon buddies and talk about what they're going to do, and maybe you feel like, oh, I don't want to subject myself to this embarrassment because I have to show up to work with my Dallas Cowboy friends and my Falcon friends and my Carolina Panther friends, and they're going to be making fun of me because my quarterback throwing interceptions. Like, bruh, once again, it has to get ugly before it gets beautiful. You're going to have to look. There was a movie that I love. It's called Shawshank Redemption. All right. Tim Robbins played Andy Dufresne, right? Andy Dufresne escaped from prison. He escaped from prison by going through a septic pipe, crawling through ish, right? To crawl outside of the prison. And it was storming outside, right? But the narrator was the legendary Morgan Freeman. And everybody knows the famous line, he crawled through miles of ish to come out clean on the other side. Right now, the Saints are Andy Dufresne crawling through that pipe. You're crawling through ish right now because you're trying to get to the other side. You're trying to get that trip to Mexico, right? Where you can escape to a new life. So right now, it's ugly. It stinks. And I understand that. But at the end of the day, you have to crawl through some ish to come out clean on the other side. So I just hope that Saints fans would have the patience to practice what they preach. Because some of y'all up and down, y'all stock marketing right now. Y'all up and down, man. Y'all Dow Jones, okay? Y'all being Dow Jones to TJ Jones. Up and down. I understand football is a game of emotions, especially from a fan's perspective, but some of y'all need to be logical and realize that Rome was indeed not built in a day. Wasn't built in a day, folks. Michael, thank you very much for the 199. Says it feels like fans are praying Tyler fails, and that's the part I don't understand, man. I want both of these quarterbacks. Well, three of them, even Jake, if he's on the team, I want him to find success. I don't get why people just want this guy to fail. I guess I feel like if you want Tyler Shough to fail at this point, you care more about being right than your team actually finding success. And something is clearly wrong with that. There's nothing I love more, as much as people may think otherwise. There's nothing more I love than eating crow. If I have a take about a player and they turn around and do something and they turn a corner, man, I'm glad to eat crow, because at the end of the day, I want to see the Saints find success. So I don't get why people are just, sitting in the bleachers hoping that a body just walks through the church, right? Just ready for a funeral. I don't get it. I want to see this guy find success. He has a lot of talent, man. Just got to put it all together. Boy, if the Saints get a guard with a top 10 pick, I'm going to be ticked. I don't know if I'll be ticked off. I don't know. Depends on the guard. Depends on why they getting the guard. Like, to me, you ain't doing nothing with Cesar Ruiz. Like, Cesar Ruiz is what he is. Right now, you just trying to save face when it comes to Trevor Penny. You're just hoping that he works out at left guard. And, but I don't think, look, until you fix the interior, you'll never find success. And I just think that the Saints are playing themselves if they think they're going to get a top 5, top 10 unit off as far as the offensive line with the group of characters that they have on this team. Like, they wasting my time, they wasting your time, they wasting their own time. Sometimes you got to leave those optics alone and care less about what people think and focus on what is for the betterment of the team. And right now, I just feel like a lot of face being saved when it comes to this offensive line. Cesar Ruiz is not the answer. He's not the answer. And he will continue to be feast or famine. There will be games where, he'll probably do something that people will be bigging him up. And then there'll be a couple games where he have a stretch where he look like one of the worst guards in football. We've seen this throughout this man's entire career. So if you want to find success on the offensive line, unless this man is about to turn into, Quentin Nelson or something, I don't see it changing. And I just think that it's a waste of time if you're sitting up here thinking that this guy's about to just become an all-pro offensive lineman. It's just not happening. He's not. He's solid, but he's just not really. He's not one of the best. So there's that. Get ready for that first-round guard. I think we need a wide receiver. I definitely agree we need a wide receiver. I definitely feel like the Saints need a wide receiver, a big body, number one alpha male type wide receiver on this team. Right now, you got a bunch of skilled receivers, the guys that are really good at doing certain things, but you don't have a guy that just like is the epitome of dominance, like you had with Michael Thomas. In some cases, where you had with Marcus Colston, like you don't have that on this team. Like everybody, is looking at Chris Olave to be that guy, but I don't see it, man. I don't. I don't see it. I see a solid receiver. I see a receiver better than most receivers that you'll see, but I'm talking about top receivers like Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, guys like that, like guys that are number one receivers. Like I just think that the Saints just need that. Not to say that those guys they have on the team are terrible. They just don't have that alpha male wide receiver. They got a bunch of skill players out there. They got guys that can look. They got a bunch of guys that can shoot a three. But I just feel like you need a guy that can not only shoot a three, drive to the rim, dunk that on a fast break, and also distribute the ball. In other words, they need somebody that's multifaceted when it comes to the wide receiver position. Like that's what they need. And I don't see that in that room. Yeah, you get it. He's not a Jaden Daniels or Aaron Rodgers, hell, not even a Mark Sanchez. I don't know. Let's see. I put money on it that the Saints will not draft a quarterback in the first 3 rounds next year. No. Now, if the Saints have a bad season, but the quarterback show promise, like let's just say they roll with, let's say they roll with Tyler Shough, right? And Tyler Shough goes out there and he plays solid. As the weeks go by, he gets better. He starts making better decisions. The game slows down for him. They're not going to draft a quarterback. But if he goes out there, he's stumbling all over himself, getting afraid, cracking under pressure, then they're probably like you would be insane not to go after a quarterback. You would be insane not to go after a quarterback. What if Spencer Rattler don't get this starting job? I know something's up. If you don't get the starting job, then it pretty much just confirms what a lot of us have already said. Like I said, that if it comes down to this competition being neck and neck, then they're probably going to choose Tyler Shough because they feel like, if Tyler Shough is this close to Spencer Rattler, who is leaps and bounds ahead of where he was last season, then you got to feel like Tyler Shough has the higher ceiling. So they're going to go with him. But if Spencer Rattler pulls away from him and it becomes basically undeniable, then that's when he's going to start. But I feel like this process is going on, in the words of Kellen Moore, because they want Tyler Shough to work out. I'm not saying that they're pushing against Spencer Rattler not to work out, but they want him to work out. And as long as it stays close enough for them to be able to justify this competition and continuing, it helps them to be able to push Tyler Shough forward because they're giving him more and more opportunities to be able to figure this thing out in order for him to be lock in step with Spencer Rattler. So it can justify them choosing to start him over Rattler. So, but right now, Rattler's not giving them enough ammunition to pull the trigger. We need big body receivers. That's all. Well, I say this, man. There's a receiver out right now. He's a young 25-year-old wide receiver. And according to reports, the team that he's on right now, they're looking to possibly trade him or even cut him at the end of preseason. And that is Romeo Doubs. Romeo Doubs, 6'2", 204 pounds, came out of Nevada a couple of years ago. Now, there have been some issues with injuries with Romeo Doubs, and it's always very concerning when guys deal with concussions, as we know with Chris Olave. But when this guy is out there on the field, you can make an argument that he was the number one receiver for the Green Bay Packers. So you can probably take a flyer on a guy like Romeo Doubs, bring him in, and you'll if you trade for him, you can pick up his contract. And if things don't work out, then no harm, no foul. But I would definitely look at a wide receiver like Romeo Doubs, a 25-year-old young wide receiver to go in that room too, that can be a possession guy. Can be really good when it comes to catching contested catches. Man, I wouldn't mind. I don't know about like paying him or anything like that. I mean, he would have to earn that, right? But Black Preacher Man, thank you very much for the $5. Says, let us remember Shough was not Moore's first choice. He wanted Dart. Well, I mean, yeah, that is true. They definitely wanted Jackson Dart over Tyler Shough, from all the reports that I heard. But I don't think they were losing any sleep the fact that Tyler Shough fell to him, because they liked him, they liked him a lot as well. So Jeremiah Smith is a sophomore. He can't get drafted next year. Nah, he can't. He can't get drafted. So yeah, he's a true sophomore, not a red shirt. If he was a red shirt sophomore, then yeah, he can declare for the draft. Even if Rattler starts, it's only temporary to give Tyler time to develop. Will only be a matter of time before Spencer is benched. Well, yeah, I mean, look, that's what it comes down to, right? But I do think that if he makes it interesting and he plays well and he plays solid enough to keep that job, then the Saints are going to have a tough decision to make. Rather, they want to, continue this role with Tyler Shough, if Spencer Rattler plays good enough in order for them to possibly trade him. So I mean, you got Tyler Shough for 4 years. So I mean, I hope that they feel like this guy could possibly, be their franchise quarterback if you paying this dude and, giving him that type of time to be able to figure it out. Art said he doesn't know who told Archie he was not entering the draft after the season, but that's not true because as of now, I don't know what I'm going to do. Yeah, he may not know what he's going to do, but look, I'm not thinking about no Arch Manning. Like I'm like, the season ain't even start yet, and we up here talking about a quarterback that's in college that we don't even know that's gonna, come out or not. Like, man, I just rather see this thing work out. Like, if it gets to a point where the Saints are in contention to possibly acquire Arch Manning, like they say he declares for the draft, and the Saints have the number 1 pick, then fine. Like, okay, let's talk about it. But man, they haven't played a regular season game yet. And we don't know what teams are going to look like. I hear this all the time. Like last year, like everybody was talking about the Washington Commanders, right? They drafted Jaden Daniels, and the Washington Commanders, they got their quarterback, but it's going to take some time. And who's going to be one of the worst teams in the league? They're picking the Commanders. Little did they know that the Commanders were on the doorstep of making a Super Bowl. Like you can't always predict what's going to happen with a team. I just think that you have a prideful group of characters that are not just going to lay down on Sunday just because everybody's saying that they are. I'd rather see this thing work itself out, and then let's have a conversation when it's all said and done. But right now, we don't know what this team going to look like. We don't know if the Saints going to be picking 1 or they're going to be picking 21. Like, you don't know. Like, for real, TJ, I don't understand the people wishing on their own team's downfall. Yeah, I don't understand that either. We're going to know August 30th what kind of dog Arch is. I'm pretty sure, I'm pretty sure Arch Manning is going to be a really good quarterback for Texas. I'm pretty sure he is, but I don't know. It's just funny to me, and I'll get back to your hemisphere. It's just funny to me how people haven't really seen Arch Manning really do anything consistently on a collegiate level, and they just automatically say that he's the chosen one and he's the guy that we need to go after. But then you haven't seen Tyler Shough in a regular season game, and we already washing our hands with the guy. So I don't understand it. Man, back up, man. Back up. Thank you. Too close, man. Got me close. When I start talking with my hands, it's like the camera just starts zooming in, right? Because, in order for me to be able to move the camera or maneuver it, I use my hand. So when it sees me moving my hand, sometimes it has a mind of its own. Let's see. We are not a quarterback away from the Super Bowl, in my opinion. So let's just focus on building a complete team. That's what I'm on. Rome wasn't built in a day, man. Right now, you're going through a rebuild. Gail doesn't meddle in football. No, she doesn't. Like, she's the owner, man. She appoints these football-minded people to make the decision for her. And, and I actually like it that way. I don't want to see the owners being involved. Y'all see what's going on in Carolina? David Tepper, impatience, firing everybody here, there, everywhere. Jared Jones got the Dallas Cowboys and championship purgatory. Like, man, you don't want these owners meddling in affairs, and there's nothing you can do about it. Nothing you can do about it because they hold the keys to the kingdom. So you at their mercy and hoping and praying every single year that they, one, decide that maybe it's time for me to appoint somebody else, or hopefully they do just enough to be able to figure it out so they can get over the hump. TJ, talk about the running backs. Who is going to make it to the 53? Yeah, okay. All right, let's talk about the running backs. I think that's fair. And, there's going to be a video that I'm going to release later on today, probably immediately following this episode. I actually talk about the running back position. It's like my little Saints minute that I've been doing. And shouts out to everybody that's been checking that out, man. I'm hoping that everybody enjoyed. I've been doing some quick content, and I've been trying to try that approach. Some people seem like they just like the little snippets of Saints information. So I've been doing that for the last couple of weeks. But as far as the running back, competition, I just think that it's Kendre Miller. I think Kendre Miller is your running back number 2. I'll save my thoughts, when it comes to that, to the video, because I don't want to steal my thunder from that video. But I encourage you all to check it out when it comes out. But I think Kendre Miller is your running back number 2. I think he has done enough for that. But I think that when you look around, you have some really solid running backs. I like Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I think that he can make the team. I think Velus Jones, he can serve as like that Deebo Samuel type guy where you can probably line him up in the backfield. His experience at being a wide receiver can pay dividends for him. And also he can help out in the special teams department. If you want to have Rashid Shaheed focus mostly on offense and get him away from the special teams responsibilities. I mentioned when it comes to Shaheed, he's too important to the success of the offense. So you might want to consider putting him in, out there for kick returns and punt returns in special situations where maybe the game is close. Saints need a spark. They need somebody to flip the field. That's when you put Shaheed out there. But right now, I think he needs to focus mostly on being a part of the offensive rotation. And maybe a guy like Velus Jones can be able to return those kicks. Guys like Cam Akers, I like him a lot, but I just think those injuries that he sustained over the last couple of years has him moving a little bit slow. It just seems like that burst that he has isn't necessarily there anymore. And, it just happens sometimes, man. These injuries start to pile up. Guys try to fight through it, but it just, they just lose a little bit of something that made them who and what they were in the past. I feel bad because he's so talented, man. I just think that it's just one of those situations where, your mind wants to do it, but your body won't allow you to do so. So I think that he might be the odd man out. You got guys like Devin Neal is a positive thing that he has returned to practice. Hopefully he can be able to get some reps in this third game of preseason. It'll be great to see Devin Neal. I don't think the Saints are going to get rid of him. They'll probably put him on the practice squad. And, maybe the next couple of weeks, if something was to happen, you might even see Devin Neal out there. But I think, when it comes down to it, you got AK. I think Kendre has done enough. Clyde Edwards-Helaire is really good at blocking, picking up blitzes. I think that he'll be a part of the rotation. And Velus Jones, I think that he'll make the team in the special teams capacity. So this is a really good competition, man. I think that everybody's so focused on the quarterbacks. they aren't really paying that much attention to the running back competition, but it's been really exciting. Been a very exciting competition to watch. Those guys are talented. Just wish that the offensive line can open up some holes for them to run through so we can really see how talented these guys are. But right now, they're basically showing us they're talented by fighting for 1 yard after they could have possibly lost 5, like Kendra. Was it a backfield? He fought back to the line of scrimmage and gained a yard. Like that, you got to look at it that way instead of guys like finding lanes and being able to run through it because the offensive line has been awful. Yes, Neil, he's not played. To see him in action? Yeah, I can't wait to see him in action, man. No, I'm not. I'm just saying that because he had a great season last year. I'm screenshotting all the Nussmeier suck comments. Yeah, man. I mean, Garrett Nussmeier, to me, I don't. I'm sorry. I don't see anything extraordinary about the guy. I just don't. I just think that a guy gets the stamp of approval because he's LSU's quarterback. Yeah, and I know his stats didn't reflect like, quarterback being bad, but I just don't see superstar. I just don't see game changer. I don't see winning because of from Garrett Nussmeier. I just don't. I see a solid, starting quarterback in the league, but he gives me more of a Brock Purdy vibe than, a top-notch quarterback. And once again, there's nothing wrong with Brock Purdy. I think he's talented. I think he can make some things happen in the right situation. I just think that Garrett Nussmeier, I just think that a lot of people sing his praises for the most part, and they amplify his game because he plays for LSU. But I don't see anything too special about Garrett Nussmeier. I just don't. I see a quarterback that Saints fans did not like, and that's Derek Carr. I see that's who he reminds me of. He reminds me of Derek Carr, a guy that's going to, the stats at the end of the game are going to look a certain way. They're going to look like he was balling out, but we all know that when it comes down to it, it's about making plays. It's about making plays. It's about maximizing the moments. And, sometimes people start looking at these stats and trying to justify good quarterbacks, but I think that he's solid. I don't see greatness from no Garrett Nussmeier. I don't see transforming a franchise from Garrett Nussmeier. You can clip that. I mean, I would be glad to come back if Garrett Nussmeier is everything in a bag of chips, but I think most of this comes from him being an LSU quarterback. LOL, don't waste a few minutes of memory or receipts that won't matter. Yeah, I don't know, man. Let's see. TJ, do you think Kamara gets over 1,000 yards on the ground this year? Nope. No, I do not. Not with this offensive line. With this offensive line, we lucky if Alvin Kamara get through the season. So is Sellers. Underrated if he's on the preseason Heisman watch. Nothing underrated about Sellers. He gets all the flowers. Now, yeah. I live out in South Carolina. He definitely gets all the flowers. Like Lenore Sellers definitely gets credit out here. I mean, he gets credit amongst college football fans as well. Stallberg was a surprise. His preseason dude been balling out. There's showing flashes. Yeah, he'll make the team probably in the special teams capacity. That Oklahoma quarterback can't climb the ranks. I like him. Yeah, man. Look, these quarterbacks that's coming out are said to be much better than the ones that came out this year. So if things don't work out, this is probably the best time for you to figure out if it will work out or not. Don't need another Derek Carr. It was agony with the one we had. Yeah, that's who he reminds me of, though. I can't unsee it, Ryan Jones. I like Lenore Sellers from Carolina. Yeah, I like Lenore Sellers too. I like Drew Aller as well from Penn State. I think that Drew Aller is going to be a really good quarterback as well. Speaking of the Derek Carr comparison right now, unless Tyler makes some type of leap, we literally have there. He reminds me of Derek Carr too in some ways. He does. Like he reminds me of Derek Carr as well. Footwork needs help, and he only relies on the deep ball. Anything outside now, he gonna check it down now, slow. He gonna check it down too. Like he gonna check that thing down. The only thing, like, I just think that maybe his arm strength is a little bit better than Derek Carr, but we can talk about Derek Carr all day and night, but Derek Carr has one of the best deep balls, in the game when he was playing. That was like the one thing that he did have going for him. But yeah, I mean, I just think that when it comes to arm strength, like I think that Tyler Shough has incredible arm strength. Like that pass that he threw to Trayton Welch, it was like a 20-yard game, but he just flicked it out his hand, man. It's like it was about to go 5 yards, and he just slings it 20 yards like it's nothing. Like I'm just impressed by his arm talent. But yeah, he does have some Derek Carr in him, especially like when pocket collapse. That's one of the main reasons I don't think you necessarily need to put him out there, because your offensive line gonna pretty much kill this man's confidence, and then on top of that, it's kind of hard for you to be able to go through your progressions when you only got 2 seconds to do it. I have really enjoyed this show. It's refreshing to hear someone talk about and want positive things for the team. Yeah, look, I just think that, look, when you understand where you are in life, like it doesn't make much sense complaining about it, right? Like, I think everybody needs to do self-reflections of their life. This is just me, right? Understanding where you are in your life. I think the biggest thing you can do that is a disservice to yourself is lie to yourself. Look in the mirror and lie to yourself. Like, we know what the New Orleans Saints are right now. This is a team that's trying to figure out who they are, culture-wise, team-wise, personnel-wise. Like, we know that. And we know that it's probably going to be an uphill battle. So my thing is, like, why sit up here and talk about things that we know more than likely are going to have to happen in order for them to figure it out? Like, I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt. I am not like, people can call me crazy or whatever. I am not evaluating Kellen Moore fully like I would evaluate an Andy Reid, or I'm evaluating Kevin Stefanski, or evaluating Shane Steichen, or evaluating these coaches or coordinators like you who've been around for a while, who have a team that is capable of finding success, but they just can't get it out of them. Kellen Moore has come into a situation that has been in shambles over the last couple of years. Yeah, and this is the reason why the Saints are in this situation, because the thing that I'm telling people that they need to do, what I'm advocating for, which is look at yourself in a mirror and be honest with yourself, the Saints didn't do it. But it doesn't matter how we got to this point. We're at this point. So now that we're at this point, we need to adjust accordingly. You can't go to Ruth Chris Steakhouse with rally money, okay? You can't win a Super Bowl with inexperienced talent. Like you need to allow that talent to be able to figure it out. You can probably go with some inexperienced talent on certain sides, but when you look at this team, everybody's trying to figure it out. So once you realize that you have to temper your expectations, it just makes things a little bit clearer to you. Hey, TJ, that quarterback from SMU, Jennings, he is super bad. Looks like Lamar Jackson. Check him out. Yeah, SMU, they didn't open up that checkbook. They didn't open up that checkbook, bro. Hey, y'all know SMU had that money now. Y'all remember, like, back in the 80s when they had Craig James and Eric Dickinson when they were paying under the table. Hey, look, now you can get them NIL deals and that money. Man, shoot, SMU, them boys can get that talent now. Shouts out to SMU, man. Shouts out to SMU. Let's see. Alvin had 950 with Penning at right tackle and McGovern at center. Banks is an upgrade and McCoy is back, saying Alvin ain't going to get 1,000 because of this O-line don't make sense. Yeah, maybe not. Maybe not, but that's a good point. That's a good point. And maybe, it's the fact that it's just the fact that I'm just looking at this offensive line. Maybe, I just don't have faith in it, man. But I hope you're right. Like that's like I ain't even gonna go back and forth with you. That's a really good point. I mean, I thought about it, when a question was asked to me, but that's a compelling point that you're making, and I'm not gonna argue against it. Like he could, there's a possibility he can get 1,000 yards, but I'm saying I don't see it. Not the way this offensive line look. Not the way that they not the way that they blocking. But you're probably right though, and like I said, I'm not gonna argue against that. That's why I don't mind having a tryout year with Rattler and Shough. Yep, because these things are gonna figure itself out eventually. All right, I'll take a few more, and then I gotta go ahead and get up out of here, folks. Says TJ has amazed me how we're evaluating these guys like the team isn't running vanilla offense and defense. Get a boy a chance. Yeah, man. Like I said, man, Keno, I said at the beginning of this podcast that Saints fans have tunnel vision, right? They run this race with blinders on, and they just see what's in front of them, and they're evaluating their opinion based on that. And I don't think that you can always tell a story based on, just looking at things and taking it at face value. There's certain things behind the scenes that can prohibit things from happening. Or, I mean, you got to understand the context of the situation. Like if the defense giving up big plays to Trevor Lawrence in the first team, when Chase Young and Mario Davis and Brian Brzee, Carl Granderson, he played a few series, probably a few snaps, but your core defensive players on the sidelines. So sitting up there talking about our defense sucks. Well, in a couple of weeks, most of those guys aren't going to be a part of our defense, so you just got to take it, you got to take it with a grain of salt sometimes. How you draft an offensive lineman in the first round and the line still suck? I have not a clue. Fact, Tyler be standing like a statue. Shough got the arm, no doubt about that. And he getting mobile, that I do like. I just think that the game got to get slower for him, and that's going to take some time. Yeah, that's the reason why I feel like you put him out there. That's the reason I feel like the reason why you don't put him out there, man. With all of these ex quarterbacks that we have with the coaching staff, we have to get that position right on point. Yeah, you got to get that quarterback room going in the right direction. Hopefully those guys can do it. I mean, Kellen Moore, Scott Tolzien, Doug Nussmeier. I mean, those are former quarterbacks, so they've seen it all. So hopefully they can get the best out of these quarterbacks. TJ, what do you think about Richardson? In regards to what? In regards to what? Like, what I think about him as a quarterback? I think that he's extremely raw. I'm not surprised that he got benched, over Daniel Jones, because if you look at Shane Steichen and general manager Chris Bullard, they're on the hot seat. If Shane Steichen doesn't perform this season, he's gonna get fired. There's a new owner for the coach. Some of you may not know, Jim Irsay, he passed away, and he left the team to his daughters. And his oldest daughter, Carly, she's actually running a team right now. So, these guys have to prove to her that they can actually get it done. So they went with Daniel Jones. And look, I don't like, maybe this can be a Sam Darnold situation where Daniel Jones can actually turn the corner. You don't have the expectations of being the New York quarterback. I mean, you're playing out in Indianapolis, even though expectations are high because, they've had quarterbacks like Peyton Manning and Andrew Luck that have brought success. But when your job is on the line, man, you're going to go with something safe. Anthony Richardson is too loose with the football, turning the ball over. He's not accurate. And I just think that he needs to dial in. He needs to tap in, man. He focuses, in my opinion, on things that don't involve football. And when it comes down to it, like they want you to eat, sleep, and breathe football playing a quarterback quarterback position. Like you out here talking about making a mixtape and making music videos and and making mid rap and being put to sleep so you can get a whole portrait on your back. Like those aren't the type of reports that you want to hear about a quarterback in this offseason time. Like I'm pretty sure, there are some things that go on, but that the Lamar Jackson does and Josh Allen does, but when it's time to tap in, they tap in. I shouldn't like being a rapper and getting a portrait of a tattoo on your back and being under anesthetic, being under anesthesia, under an anesthetic. It shouldn't like dominate, the tabloids when it comes to talking about you. So I just think dude need to tap in. And I think that he need to sit on the bench. And as far as the Saints, if you're talking about him coming to the Saints, absolutely not. Not at this point. I mean, he's a freakish athlete. He can throw the ball. Look, I was in attendance when this man was around that thing slinging that ball 70 yards down the field in Indianapolis at the combine. But he got to tap in. You got to tap in, man. I mean, you got to put that rap career on hold, bro. In his case, man, you might want to just put it on hold completely because them bars were not pristine, my friend, and not good enough for you to not be, to give up that Microsoft tablet. I can tell you that. So just tap in, man. Just tap in. Quarterback race not even close. Rattler is clutch. Rattler scrambles and makes plays. Rattler is unfazed by pressure. We gonna see, man. But my final thoughts are simple. Kellen Moore isn't under the pressure of some of these other coaches that are on the hot seat. So, the Saints are going to give him the grace and the time to figure this thing out. I already read that. So when it all comes down to it, man, we'll get an answer sooner rather than later. It's up to these quarterbacks to go out there and perform and play at a high level and continue to try to make this thing difficult. And you'll get your answer if these guys go out there and do their best. If Spencer Rattler plays better than Tyler Shough, then I feel like Spencer Rattler should be the quarterback. If Tyler Shough can somehow, pull ahead and have a masterful performance in week 3, then I think that probably is going to justify the coach's decision because they want him to start over Spencer Rattler. Like, that's my opinion. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. But if Rattler can continue to make it difficult, then you might hear Spencer Rattler's name as the starter for week 1. But thank you all so much for checking out the State of the Saints podcast. Really do appreciate your time, no matter where you are, wherever you may be. Please subscribe to the channel, youtube.com, search the State of the Saints podcast. I'm going to go ahead and put the link for the State of the NFL podcast. There's available. There was a question that was asked to me about Anthony Richardson. I actually did an entire video talking about Daniel Jones being elected the starting quarterback over Anthony Richardson. So you can go ahead and check that out, as well as other topics, man, that are pertaining to the NFL. So make sure that you subscribe to the channel. We hit 700 subscribers on that channel on the day before yesterday. And I appreciate everybody for subscribing to that channel, man. I've been getting a lot of positive reviews, and I'm glad everybody enjoys the content. You can follow me on X at TJAYJones8 and follow the State of the NFL on X as well at State of the NFL. Till next time, all I got to say is, who dat?
Thank you for listening to my daddy's podcast. Please subscribe to our channel.
All I got to say is, who dat?